All right, next up on Thursday, Western Kentucky and Louisiana Tech. We've got another Conference USA matchup, 5.5-point road favorites. Western Kentucky, 59.5 being the total here in this one. Western Kentucky, very impressive. They played a weeknight game last week against Middle Tennessee State, wire-to-wire point spread cover. I was definitely leaning I had a small Hilltoppers bet in that game last week. Actually parlayed Western Kentucky and Jacksonville State together on the money line, and obviously we needed that miraculous comeback from Jacksonville State to cash that. But Western Kentucky was the other leg of that for me, and it was really no sweat, 31-10 victory for the Hilltoppers last week against MTSU. A nice bounce back from them. No shame losing to Troy. No shame losing to Ohio State. So they really haven't had a bad loss. Troy is one of the better teams, obviously, in the Sun Belt. Troy, one of the better defenses in the Sun Belt as well the last couple of years. So not exactly a bad thing to say, wow, Western Kentucky lost to Troy. No, Troy's a very good defensive team, and we see that year in and year out. On the flip side here, you've got Louisiana Tech coming into this game off a victory against UTEP, and I have been negative, Conor Mack, on Louisiana Tech much of the season. But I said after that Nebraska game, well, and look, they're 2-0 ATS since he took over at quarterback. Jack Turner, man, he's better than Hank Bachmeier. I don't want to hear any debate with that. He's better than Hank Bachmeier. I have talked about this ad nauseum on this very show, that I have never seen anything out of Hank Bachmeier that tells me, wow, that's a great college quarterback. He underachieved at Boise. He actually was living off one phenomenal performance, and I think it was one of his very first starts at Boise when he played Florida State. It was like a season opener a few years ago. He played great in that game. He had everybody excited. He's done jack shit really ever since then at the quarterback position. And sure enough, Jack Turner has taken over at the quarterback spot here for Louisiana Tech these last 2 weeks. He had a solid enough game on the road against Nebraska, tough place to play, almost 300 passing yards, only 9 for 20, not a great completion rate, only 152 passing yards against UTEP. But he didn't make any mistakes on the road. That's what I like to see. You don't hurt your team with turnovers, and Jack Turner didn't do that against UTEP. And he allowed his run game to take over because they had 142 rushing yards led by Tyree Shelton running the ball against UTEP last week. So Louisiana Tech gets the job done. I think that was every bit a fate of UTEP for me, as it was backing Louisiana Tech in that game. But Louisiana Tech now 2-0 against the spread since the quarterback change. They've shown some life. Defense has picked it up a little bit. Defense didn't have a good start to the year. They gave up 38 to SMU, 40 to North Texas. Actually holding Nebraska to 28 on the road's not bad. And then, of course, they shut down UTEP, a UTEP offense that is dramatically underachieved, but still a good defensive performance here from Louisiana Tech. We've seen the money come in on Louisiana Tech. Look, I get it. Louisiana Tech has looked like much more of a bet on and a buy team since the quarterback change, and the defense is improving a bit. I think, no doubt, Western Kentucky is still the better team here, but, going on the road and laying almost a touchdown against a team that's starting to show signs of life, signs of improvement, especially at the QB position. I get why people are on Louisiana Tech. I don't know if I'll take Louisiana Tech, but I get it. I like Western Kentucky so much that I probably won't be interested in fading Western Kentucky, at least at this number. If it were to get back up to 7, I might have a peek at Louisiana Tech. At this number, it's kind of difficult, but I do think Louisiana Tech's definitely not as much a bet against team right now with Turner on the field at quarterback compared to Bachmeier for them. C-Mac, what do you think here?
Yeah, Western Kentucky, one thing I think, one strength of La Tech, it's so early though, they haven't played a ton of games, is their pass defense has been pretty good. They've given up like 220 on the ground. I mean, it's like 128th in the country. Not that Western Kentucky doesn't run it, but we know they like to throw it around. And Western Kentucky,
it's not bad for Louisiana Tech in this game because of that. They're much better defensively, pass defense as opposed to run defense, no doubt.
Yeah, at least so I think that gives them a shot here in this one. And one thing with Western Kentucky, at times, they give a ton of penalties. Like, if they clean that up, man, I think they could start doing a lot better. And I think the number's too big in this one, especially with Turner in. I think he's the different. You know what he's done Havana. I know he threw that pick, but he just take care of the ball. He did it last week. We know UTEP's horrible, and they just kind of did what they had to do there. Won easy on the road. If he takes care of the football, I think La Tech is in it here. So I'm on the points.
And again, this is not just while Western Kentucky is a better passing attack than running it. It's not because they do it better. It's because they pretty much exclusively throw the football. They don't run the football very much, Western Kentucky.
Yeah.
It's air raid offense. It's always been that way with Shelton there as the head coach there at Helton, I should say, at the quarterbacks, the coaching spot here for Western Kentucky. So they've been a pass-heavy offense, no question about that. And that's why when you handicap Western Kentucky games, you want to know if that opposing team can stop the pass, has a good secondary. And if they don't, they're going to have their issues. There's no question about that. And I think now facing Tyson Helton's offense here, Louisiana Tech has shown, a halfway decent pass defense this year. So definitely makes me think, if Turner doesn't commit turnovers, they're at home, on a weeknight game. So it should be a decent atmosphere in Ruston, Louisiana for this game. So I think there's reasons to like the home dog here, and the betting markets sure do because the money has come in on La Tech here early in the week.